us in the green. Full power is being made. Looking for 55. And rotate. Right there, that's beautiful, Jay. Beautiful.
The goal of this video is to offer advice on how to prepare for and what to expect on the FAA private pilot written test. It is very important to take multiple practice tests before you schedule your FAA test. There are a number of free FAA practice tests available online. I paid for the King School Private Ground School course and used their practice tests, but they also offer a free version. The FAA test has 60 multiple choice questions with 3 answer choices. To make your practice as close as possible to how it will actually be, make sure your practice test is set up in the same way. Throughout the test, you will be referred to different figures that you will need to use to answer the questions. On the FAA test, you will be provided the book with all of the figures, called the Airman Knowledge Testing Supplement, for Sport Pilot, Recreational Pilot, Remote Pilot, and Private Pilot. I think it was very beneficial to purchase the physical book for my practice tests and have the most accurate testing experience instead of using the figures online. The 2022 current version of this book is available on Amazon for $11.54. On the test, you will be given the testing supplement, paper, pencils, a plastic sheet, dry erase markers, and sometimes a basic calculator. You will need to bring your own plotter, E6B, and a valid form of identification. You may also bring a protractor and a basic calculator if you wish. You are not allowed to write in the book during the test, so you will be provided a plastic sheet and a dry erase marker if you would like to make any marks on the figures. Making measurements with these figures is a little different than usual, so let me give an example. Let's say you are asked to refer to Figure 21 and determine the distance from Garrison Airport to Minot International Airport. The figure says it is not to scale, so your plotter will not give you the correct measurement. To determine the distance, you can use a piece of paper and the scale at the top or bottom of the page. Line up the corner of a piece of paper in the center of the first airport and draw a mark on the paper where the center of the other airport lies. Then move the paper up to the scale, and you can read the distance. If the distance is longer than the scale, make a mark where the scale ends, move the paper back to the beginning, measure the rest, and add it all up. You should get 37 nautical miles for this example. There are different types of plotters and flight computers, so make sure the ones you bring are the ones you are familiar with and know how to use. If you have been using a whiz wheel and you just bought an electronic flight computer, bring the whiz wheel because that is the one you know how to use. If you are more familiar with an electronic E6B, bring extra batteries with you, just in case something happens during the test. I was familiar with both, so I brought the electronic flight computer and the whiz wheel as backup just in case something happened with the first one. When you are ready to start taking practice tests, make sure you set aside enough time to do it in one sitting, and do it in a quiet place without help from the internet or others, so you can get the most accurate gauge of how you will do on the real exam. You are given 2.5 hours on the real exam, so make sure you have that much time, even if you don't end up using it all. Sometime after your first practice test, but before you take your second, go over the questions that you got wrong. During my practice tests, I also wrote down the questions that I wasn't completely sure about, so I could go back to those, even if I got them right. Take as many practice tests as you can, and go over the answers after every one. A passing score on the test is 70%, but you should shoot as high as you can on these practice tests. You might have had a great day and got a 97 on one test, and had a bad day and got a 71 on another. Don't assume that your highest practice test score is how you will perform on the test. Instead, take the average of your most recent practice scores. If you can subtract 10% from that average and still get a passing score, you are ready to take the FAA private pilot written test. Make sure to take this test seriously, because if you do a good job, the oral portion of your check ride will go a lot smoother, as it is mandatory to go over the topics you missed on the written test during your oral exam. Good luck on your first major step on the road to becoming a pilot.
That was it. Right?
Yeah?
That was it.